seconds. Hi, welcome back to Wilde Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
This week we talk about Critical Role Campaign 2, Episode 47, The Second Seal.
Yes.
Off the bat, and I noted this on Thursday.
Okay.
And in my rewatch, it's stuck out like a sore thumb. And does Matt have a spinal tap issue? Because when he's describing the deep scion, which that's what it was, we figured that out Monday. He said the space splits and it has a 6-foot wingspan. I'm like, and even Travis said 6 feet? No, 6 inches. And every time someone makes that mistake, I always think of Spinal Tap and Stonehenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, the deep scion, which was sort of a surprise that didn't get described when they saw the thing moving.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably it was underneath.
Yeah.
The deep scion might have been sort of the final challenge, but they kicked it off early by sending the Spectre.
Yeah.
Those were Shul.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Matt never named these creatures in the stream, based on the stat blocks and descriptions, that's what they were.
Right.
And previous episode were sea spawns. Now the sea spawn and deep scion are both out of Wilde's. And if we have time, and then we want to talk about it, I've got the books within reach. No Aboleth.
No Aboleth.
I was expecting a little more of a dungeon dive, and we didn't really get that. It was just the tower. Go below the tower. There's the river.
Yeah.
But the reason we didn't get that battle is because Matt had been planning to do a sea battle using the UA vehicle rules.
Right.
And we joked about it back in November when the UA came out, and because they were just going.
Yeah, they had just taken the ship.
Yeah. So we're like, this just came out, gonna see this. Especially after Matt was like, each of you will have a job, and I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
And we didn't see it. And the episode, Matt even admitted, you guys, I thought you'd do this, and we didn't get it, and then, so his last chance. But for me, the big thing in that first fight was the 1-2 bless punch from the clerics.
Right.
Which they talked about. And they also planned something else, which we didn't get to see. All we know is Taliesin was like, not yet. So I was going to ask you what you think that 1-2 punch is. Because I have an idea, but...
I don't know.
Okay.
But if your notes are any indication, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's probably guiding bolt from Jester, pass to the grave from Caduceus, and either
lining up for Yasha.
Yeah. Or Jester with inflict wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them advantage on the attack and then double the damage because they're vulnerable.
Yeah. And with advantage, you're crit fishing. And the reason why, I think it was, for that fight, I think it was, in their minds, going to be Jester, Caduceus, tag teaming something to do that.
Yeah. Could be.
Just because
Or
The spell attacks don't necessarily have disadvantage.
Another good one would be not necessarily that battle, but not a sneak attack.
Yeah. Well, not
Raging Yasha not with sneak attack or Caleb with fireball.
I wonder if because crit roll stats keeps track of how many times each character gets how do you want to do this.
Right.
And they keep track of how many 20s and all that stuff. Oh, do you know if they keep track of total damage dealt?
Yes, they do.
They do? Okay. I'll have to look that up because now I'm wondering.
Brian is Red has done so much in damage.
Okay. Because it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I don't know if they do total damage, but he's done. You've done so much. This much damage with one hit, or
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm wondering what the clerics have up their sleeve, what they've been planning, which was an interesting turn, especially since Jester and Caduceus, for half the time that Caduceus has been with the party, has been almost contentious. Well, okay, no, a third of the time, because it was kind of contentious and another cleric, and she was getting competitive, and then that sort of went away, and they both sort of found their niche. And Laura, I think, was happy not to have Jester having to heal all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we're getting into the period where we're going to see the potential devastation that an all-cleric party can do. Because I think that they were strategizing somewhat. Despite Laura saying, I don't remember how to play at the top of the episode, and a lot of them, how do we do this?
And I think that's just something that players say every time they forget something they know they should know, and it's true. I mean, I say that sometimes. Yeah. I forgot how to play.
Yeah. And I mentioned last week, going back and watching previous campaign, how much better they are at the game now.
Yeah.
And this episode, we got two big examples of that.
Okay.
Sam casting Phantasmal Force on the Chul, and then Matt about to undo it, because most illusion magics, once you touch it and see that it's not real, the illusion is broken.
Right.
But Phantasmal Force in the text has it, and Travis even laughed. He's like, they wrote it that way. And yes, they did, for a very specific reason. And it is the reason that not displayed on Thursday. And Matt was like, okay, well, it believes it's real, but it's not doing a whole lot of damage, so it's going to ignore it. And Sam was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And the other big one was Liam. Oh, my Transmuter Stone gives me proficiency in Constitution saving throws.
Yeah.
And I think that was more a matter of him remembering that he had set it to that.
Right.
And then reminding himself and then telling Matt, hey, this is what it was set to. But in both those cases, I jokingly in my notes referred to it as rules lawyering, but I don't think it's rules lawyering at all. It's just, here's what it says kind of thing. But yeah, and I don't like backseat driving or criticizing the play.
Right.
I think it's fun to comment on it, especially when compared to last campaign and this campaign, and even though they were joking about forgetting how to play the game, those moments especially prove for me that no, they know. But we also had, getting to the RP side of things, after that fight, we had not the matchmaker.
Yeah.
Which we had a little bit of a preview 2 weeks ago.
But this week she went full blown.
Yeah, full, including the "Do you need money?" which got a laugh out of the cast. So it will be interesting.
Is it too little, too late though?
No.
You think we're going to come back to the predestination paradox?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think we're already back to it. Because in the fight, she, did the awesome maneuver. She's like, "Hey, Ford." And then afterwards, when they're in the the holiest of holies, as it were, and Ford's about ready to put the stone in, she says a prayer to the traveler, asking the traveler to protect him.
Okay.
So I think it's already there. I think she was just struggling with
Avantika.
Yeah. And how easily Ford just sort of fell into that situation, or how comfortable he seemed.
Yeah.
In front of her, at least, with doing it. And I think, like, it's probably a double-edged sword for her, in that she sees him manipulating Avantika.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean he's manipulating me?
Right.
And she's also jealous of the attentions visited upon Avantika. So the only caveat to that is that Jester is putting back on her layers of social armor.
Yeah.
That we saw sort of falling away. And she was her most vulnerable after almost dying in the dragon fight.
Yeah.
And now she's putting those layers up again, maybe. And this is just the dynamic that they've had. And so she's just trying to get back to that. I could see that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. One of the things that confused me was when they were talking about, do you think this is going to release Uk'otoa? Or if it does, or doesn't, will you be able to get out of here? Will it be safe for you to get out of here? And he's like, well, he's tasked me to do this. I don't think he'd hurt me.
Yeah. There were several things that raised my eyebrows with Ford, his comments. So let's just get into all of that. There was that. So, I mean, he thinks this whole thing is an Uk'otoa thing.
Yeah.
Temples.
Yeah, and it's like, no, those are meant to trap him. They're built by his enemies.
And then my thing was, how sincere is he being? So we've seen him without any hesitation or semblance of guilt lie to the Mighty Nine before.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions, actually. And in this episode, I mean, he says he sincerely would like to extract himself from the pact with Uk'otoa. But he's also talking about, the third temple and where he saw it. And, it sounds like it might be near Bo's hometown. Was he sincere when he was concerned about her relationship with her family? Or was he trying to manipulate her into wanting to go there so they'd be close? Well, we're here. Why not just go to the third temple?
Well, then that had to have been a misunderstanding, because from my understanding of Matt's descriptions, the temple is in the mountains that the Wayun Gorge goes through.
Okay, maybe. I took it as,
and Laura got that like that.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this very early on this season.
Yes.
How on top of things Laura
Yeah.
tends to be, and this episode proved it.
And
even
that
more.
She's continuing. And then the other thing is, as they're talking about going back to Nicodranas, Ford, and I don't know, like, it was kind of a joke, but I'm wondering if it kind of wasn't. And he's like, well, we could just kill everybody and hide among the bodies of the innocent. Something's wrong with me. And that's what triggered me to wondering about that was the final straw that triggered me to really wondering about the other things, because is Travis Plane being influenced by Uk'otoa? And we've talked about this before, how he got more brash and more bloodthirsty while he was out at sea and more reckless. And is this another layer of that?
I think it could be that in retrospect. I think those lines were the same kind of thing with the prank war between he and Not.
Okay.
I think because on Talks they were last week, they were talking about how it was just Travis poking at Sam and Sam poking at Travis, and now it's become Not and Ford butting heads. And we saw more of that in this episode.
The other thing that I started wondering about is, and there's been a lot of discussion about orbs. Are there multiple orbs for the locks? Does it not take as many? Well, we know there's 9 orbs, 3 for each. Who's to say they're not interchangeable? Can Ford put that third orb in one of the other beast things and get a boon from them for making him really closer to release? Can someone else put one of the orbs from the Phoenix into Uk'otoa's? Because these are people who locked away these 3 beasts. What's to say they didn't use the same method? It may not be. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but it's definitely not. They're not interchangeable.
It's 9 locks, 9 keys.
Yeah, and each one is of a particular type of stone.
Okay.
And generally, you don't have, like, if they were all the same color of stone, then yes.
Okay.
If they had all been amber, then that could be the case. And then one of the reasons why I think Sam and Marisha, and Bo, their concern about, you don't know how many orbs are out there.
Right.
Is especially correct and poignant for Uk'otoa. Because all of the 3 of them, Uk'otoa is the only one with a body full of eyes.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why it could be. Now, in the beginning of that fight, the Deep Scion rushes toward the group of them and provoke the attacks from Not and Bo. Gets close enough to do the psychic scream that it does. I think it was going after Ford. It didn't live long enough to get there. But
so you think it was trying to stop?
No, I think it was trying to. Well,
I'm
conflicted.
Okay.
Either it was trying to stop Ford, or it was trying to get the orb for its own.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the Deep Scion real quick. Oh, you got it marked. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because it talks. Let's see.
That they're made in a ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Undersea power surrender. Yeah. They began as people who, in sinking ships, who were submit and subjected to the ancient ritual, and become that. Is he one of the former? Was that Deep Scion one of the former?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other
sense the orbs.
Yeah. Well, and the other side of that coin is, did we see the potential of Ford's future? Because sea spawn also are made by pacts with things of the deep and being, survivors of shipwrecks and that kind of thing. And deep Scion, the sea spawn, the Chul, all serve deep sea, ancient, powerful entities.
Yeah.
The Kraken, Uk'otoa, Aboleth.
Mm-hmm.
And in my headcanon, there's an Aboleth in those islands. They might not have gotten to it, but damn it, it's there.
Now, and this is going to kind of sound weird if you know me, but I think that being Ford's future is a little too Shadows over Innsmouth.
All I'm saying is...
So if you know me, you know I love Lovecraft.
Yeah.
And,
All I'm saying is, when Ford doesn't go to that temple and they go north, when he starts having dreams and he wakes up with an octopus tentacle where his hand used to be.
If that happens, I will concede. I'm gonna go with it's a little too Mouthian.
Although, and that's the thing, warlocks and their relationship with their patron, a lot of people, there's a debate whether or not, if you go against your patron, do you lose your power or not? And
right. And it's been answered by the developers.
No. A definitive no.
Yes.
So,
I mean,
think...
that being said, everyone's game is their own.
Yeah.
In your world, if you want that to happen, that's what happens.
Yeah. And Acquisitions Incorporated, the C team, have done a bit of that, messing with Cthulhu and some of his powers.
Right. And we had a game with our friend Tim running it that I had a warlock, and he allowed me to basically break the pact, form a new one, and be a different type of warlock.
Yeah.
Just flip out the...
Yeah. But yeah, that's... Yeah, it's totally out there, and it probably won't happen. But it would be funny.
Well, I mean...
Or what if Vandrin's a deep Scion now?
That's true, yeah. I mean, as far as Ford breaking the pact, it could be as simple as, I'm going to multi-class and take this other class from this point forward.
Yes.
I've broken the pact. I have the powers up to that point. And now I'm this.
Do you think that happens? And we've talked about Ford multi-classing since the beginning.
We have. And, in the beginning, because in the beginning he was wanting to learn, he was wanting to...
He sounded like he was looking at Wizard.
Yeah, he sounded like he was looking at multi-class into Wizard, and he sounded like he was going to go Pact of the Tome. I mean, Pact of the Tome would be the way to flavor a warlock who's learning.
Yeah.
And I said that at the beginning. I was like, we both said he'd probably go Pact of the Blade, but I said it would be interesting with the way he's dictating this, narrating his character if he went this way. I said that back in, I think, episode 2.
Yeah.
For episode 2 or 3.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see him go Wizard.
No.
And for the main reason that Travis has said, he wants nothing to do with that.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see him go any caster.
I think you're right. In one of the one-shots, he was a sorcerer, and he got flustered.
Yeah, very flustered.
In Laura's one-shot.
And that was more... He was, from the way I understood, he was more confused by the sorcery points and what to do with them than...
Yes. Yes.
But still, I think he's just like, I'm done with that. I'm gonna go, you know.
Yeah.
I could see him. Well, probably fighter, but maybe ranger.
Paladin.
Paladin. Okay. I mean, Paladin's gonna have spells too. That's
Yes.
like maybe ranger,
but fewer of them, and fewer spell slots. But a hexblade. The warlock paladin combo is really powerful, especially if your campaign allows for short rest, if the DM builds that in.
Yeah.
Because you can blow your smites.
Yeah, if he goes paladin, yeah, he's got all these spells, but he can just blow them all on smites.
Yeah. And 7th level warlock, he's up to 5th level spell slot? No. 4th or 5th level
4th,
spells.
I think.
Which is higher than he's going to have as a paladin for almost ever.
Yeah.
So
he's going to get them back on a short rest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see that.
So, I'm going to dump this 4th level slot that I'm going to get back if we take a breather, and I'm going to do 66 or 68 extra damage on this. And I hexblade curse you, so now I crit on a 19 or 20.
Get my proficiency added to that damage.
Yeah.
And you know what'll be great? When Caleb takes catnap.
Great. Yes. Yes. Oh man. Okay. That's kind of a killer combo. Catnap and Prayer of Healing.
Yeah.
Because they're both 10-minute casting times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to give everyone who can benefit from a short rest to get all their stuff back, give them the catnap. He does Prayer of Healing.
Key points, spells,
yeah,
for smites.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a potent combo.
Yeah. If you want to talk about 1-2 punches, anyway.
Do you think that's part of the? And we got more insight into the not Caleb plan in this episode too.
Yeah.
Do you think catnap falls under the list of spells where you're manipulating time?
Yes, I do. You're shrinking an hour into 10 minutes.
All right, cool.
I could see that being a justification for using that, which is why I said Caleb.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think, if I didn't think it had to do with time dilation.
Is that catnap's transmutation, isn't it?
I believe so.
So that would even let him change his stone.
Yeah.
And he copies that at half time and half price.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Only time will tell on that.
Now, I love the irony of Thor working to release Jormungand. Because Travis has played Thor before.
Yes. And
Uk'otoa is essentially Jormungand, the world serpent.
Yes.
That Thor is destined to fight with and be killed by.
Yeah.
It hit me this week, and I don't know why it took that long to do it, other than this was the moment of truth. Like, up until this episode, he could have just, I'm not going to do it. Oh, and let's not forget the immediate buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Jester's casting control water. Caduceus is casting
went through
control.
all of that for me to do one thing that they can already do, and they can
Once
do
a
it
day.
more often than I can.
Yep. Which, to me, is the perfect Warlock story.
Yeah. It is.
Because Warlock has some overlap with some of the other arcane casters in spell selection, but they can never do it as much.
Yep.
And they'll never have the same flexibility.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Warlock, and I like the Warlock. I like the class.
Oh yeah, it's when I've played. Well, I've only done it once in our one shot that you ran,
The Tal'Darim
And
ones.
I love the mechanics within the Warlock class, and I love the narrative hooks that are there.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it, is the hooks, the story.
And the reason those hooks are there is because they don't have the same.
There's that, and I really think, like, I feel like it's designed for someone who wants to only dabble or wants to try spell casting, like Travis is.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a full caster, but I want to check out this magic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love that the Mighty Nine will break your shit and then try to help you.
Yeah. I mean, that's great and it's accurate, but that could be said for probably 80+% of D&D groups. Can be definitely said of Monday night or Sunday night.
Yeah. I mean, well, and it's like I said to you last night. Players, and I'm guilty of this when I'm a player.
Yes.
So this isn't I'm better than everybody.
No.
You work to get enough information to build a plan that you were comfortable with, and then you execute on that plan. You don't always think of what happens if X goes wrong or Y goes wrong.
Or is what I have the whole story?
Yep. It's just...
It's really learning enough until a plan pops in your head and then execute that plan before you get the full story.
Yep. So it's a matter of, do the other players at the table take the time to go, wait.
Yes.
What if this happens? What if that happens? And the cast of Critical Role have done that. They did that with the Avantika confrontation. And they did that with now I'm blanking. But they have done that.
Yeah.
Where they've gone and gotten extra information. So it's just not the usual thing that happens at the table.
Yes.
It's because inevitably there's at least one player who wants to swing their weapon and hit things. People want to roll dice, and you can't roll dice until you're in the mix.
And in my experience, even the majority of the time you have another player saying, well, what if this happens? It almost always will get quickly shot down as, well, we can play what if for how long, we need to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Which is why I say it comes down to people want to roll dice.
Yeah.
And get in the mix. And that doesn't happen if everyone's arguing for 2.5 hours on what to do.
Yes.
So, yeah. We have the really quick confrontation with that other pirate ship.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else we want to talk about with them being down below?
No.
Because I don't... This episode was weird, because it was kind of a long episode, but not a lot really happened.
It was a lot of quick scenes, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an oddly... Well, not I don't want to say oddly is not the right word, but way differently paced episode.
Abnormally paced episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the pirate confrontation because it's one of those times where, you know, and you guys know I like when people find ways to use spells, creative ways to use spells, or class abilities, or the environment surrounding them. Yeah. You know, we're going to pull in as close as we can to the rocks. Now we're going to use this, which has this, you know, small percentage, you know. Yeah. But, hey, it paid off.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that one time when I had used the prestidigitation to create the key that got us out of that room you had us trapped in. And
yeah,
you guys were like, wait, it can do that? I'm like, yeah, it can make a trinket.
yeah,
And, I knew it was a long shot because I'd have to, make the rolls to.
yeah. You had to make an I think it was a DC 20 or something investigation check.
Yeah.
And you did. So I was like, yeah, you figure out a way to make.
Because I was trying to create the key by looking at the lock.
Yeah.
But it's just little things like that are what I find really enjoyable about the game.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box and being creative with what you have, your resource. And that's why I'm also a big fan of don't worry about making a balanced party and what everyone else is making. Yeah. Make whatever you want and then figure out how to work around your group's shortcomings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Jester sent a message to her mother.
Yes.
And the information they have now is that there's not a manhunt for them, which we kind of already knew,
right?
Based upon when they stuck their head in to pick up the crew.
Well, and here's what went through my head because of the way that Matt said it. Well, it's relatively safe. There's not a manhunt or anything, but be careful. That tells me that at least some of them, probably this, Jester girl, other than her previous being wanted, might be persons of interest. There may not be a manhunt for them, but they may be people who want to talk to them about what happened.
Yes. Well, and there's now that ghost story and everything about.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think it's as safe as they took that reply to mean.
Fair. And they know that well, at least they thought to forge the new documents.
Right. But especially with the fact that when they released the Jinn or the Mirren, there was the one assistant that got away.
Yeah. Well, he's on his way to Marquette.
No. Not the guy, the assistant that ran off at the beginning of that battle.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about that in that episode. And he could have given their description, so they could even be just. We're looking to talk to these people about what happened to our sewage system.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they forged the papers and they signed the boat over to Orly.
Yes, which I kind of wish I had predicted because I thought that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was always Matt's intention, or if Matt added some stuff to Orly specific that wasn't talked about on the stream, where he doesn't want his own ship. But I found that interaction odd when Orly was like, "No, it'll always be your ship." Okay, I'll be thankful to them, and if you ever need me, I'm there for you. But to say it's your ship, I'll run it, and I'll even give you the money that you're due for the operation of this ship. I think that had more to do with the UA.
Okay.
Because the UA goes into that.
Mm. So it's a way for him to still play with the UA rules.
I think so.
Okay.
More than Orly just. I don't even think altruistic's the right word, but to just be like, no, I don't want this 30,000 gold piece asset that can make me money
Yeah.
and gives me freedom. No, I don't want that. Was just strange to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe they'll talk to him about that. And maybe we'll get some sort of formalized contract where they're like, they will know how much they can expect.
Yeah.
To get. It certainly makes them more valuable to the gentleman.
Yeah.
When they meet back up and, oh yeah, we have a ship. Oh, you need transportation? Yeah, we can handle that for you. How much is that? And then they start dictating, how much money the gentleman's going to give them for shipping his crap around. If they do that.
Yeah.
Or they get back to Zadash, talk to the gentleman. Jester confronts him about being her father.
Yeah.
They let it slip. They have this ship. Pappy says, I need a ship. Because I still have never gone home. Let's go home. I'll take you to meet your grandparents.
And it turns out it's the one that owes them.
6 1/2 dozen. I mean, whatever.
Which was,
But, and that's when we end up going to the Water Ashari and go down that route that we've speculated on.
Yes.
Where we learn that, see how the Kraken is doing the intrusion into the material plane. Which, I don't remember I think we did mention it. But if we didn't, I think we should do it now.
Okay.
The water spouts that happen when they unlock Uk'otoa.
Yes.
Did we talk about that?
No.
Okay. I think that's the water plane, the plane of water shooting through.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always thought that.
Yeah. It just, Matt hasn't made it explicit.
Right.
And this time, maybe more than the first one, it was definitely an outside force that did that, where everything was sort of falling in and then shot up.
Yeah.
Where the last one, they're on an island. It could be volcanic. It could be,
right.
So yeah, I think at some point, if Uk'otoa is not released, they're going to have to go to the plane of water to relock him or something.
Okay.
If they don't end up fighting him. And I think for Ford, what will happen is it's either as they pass through the William Gorge or once they're in the Empire, there will be people coming to collect that orb. Another chosen of Uk'otoa is going to come looking for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've stated that since he...
Do you think we see Vandrin in that interim? Does Vandrin come looking for Ford? Because he hears about the temple, and he hears about Avantika, and he hears about this water spout.
If Vandrin is coming because of that, it's not going to be to get the orb. It's going to be... I think it's going to be to warn Ford and to try and steer him away and towards breaking that pact in relocking Uk'otoa or securing him.
I can see that.
And I say that because when Caduceus goes up and does his little divination ritual, and to quote Travis, leave it to Taliesin to blow your mind with shit you didn't know. He gets staying out of sight and making amends. I think Vandrin realized you know.
Yeah, well, I think everything that Matt has told us about Vandren, that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, it will be interesting if we ever find out what it was that made him say no.
Right.
And I think if Vandren does come in, we'll get that. And it will be because Ford learned the same thing Vandren did, but Ford didn't turn back.
Right.
So it will be interesting. And maybe we saw a bit of how Ford is thinking he can atone for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think he rationalized getting that power for power's sake, and then he had his moment of buyer's remorse, and he realizes this thing is now 2 steps closer to being released.
So do you think he goes path of redemption if he multiclasses to Paladin? And is seeking to atone? I don't think he goes vengeance simply, and the only reason I say that is because Vax was a vengeance.
Yeah.
And they try to stay away from that. If he totally embraces it, I can see him going conquest.
Yes.
I don't see him going crown. I don't see him going agents.
Ancients I could see, actually.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Just because these beings that are locked away, like for Ford to get in on ensuring they stay locked away, swearing to even older powers.
Okay. I guess I could see that.
I don't think there's a lot of, like off the top of my head, there's not a lot of synergy between the 2 classes.
Right.
In that sense, other than just like we talked about the recharging the spell slot.
Well, if you want synergy with the Oath of Ancients, you go Fey Pact Warlock.
Yeah.
But, you know, and same with Redemption, you go Celestial Warlock, you know.
Yeah.
Hexblade lends itself to Conquest or Vengeance.
But I don't think Travis would choose Redemption.
Okay.
Just because almost of all the players, he's the one most eager to get into a fight.
Right.
So that's why I don't.
Yeah, that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Because there's that, but if he's trying to make atonement for what he did, that's the one that most lends itself to that.
That's true. But if Paladin is his choice, I think Protection is probably the odds-on, I think, favorite.
For fighting style?
No, just their some of their spell selection that they have.
Oh, okay. I see him taking Compel Duel.
Yeah. So, and it would be nice, like, if Ford did do Paladin, did Protection, took the Protection fighting style, we'll see him more in upfront combat a little more.
Yeah. Well, then he'll make a great ally to either of the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Oh, you attack him.
Disadvantage.
Well, I get to hit you. Oh, you attack them, so that you
disadvantage on the attack. Yeah. Yeah. And if they construct their line correctly or their placement correctly, with Ford between the 2 Sentinels.
Yeah.
Now they're triggering the Sentinel attack a lot more. And if he's paladin, he has some self-heal that he can do.
Yep.
Where he doesn't have to rely on the clerics to do it for him. And you get another off healer in the party. So, yeah. But, I mean, Travis might surprise us and decide, no, I'm gonna go wizard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that will happen.
Well, I mean, if you want to do synergy with the Sentinels, if he doesn't want to go Paladin, he could go Samurai Fighter.
Yeah, well, Fighter
or Cavalier.
Yeah.
Both of those have great synergy with the Sentinel feat.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
And Samurai would almost, if it was reflavored to, you know, just, okay, I've got this evil inside me because of this Warlock Pact, you know, the whole just calm, meditative fighting style to keep that in check.
Yeah, I can see that.
So.
And he dipped Fighter with Grog.
He did. He dipped Champion.
So I could see him dipping Fighter with Ford. If they decide that narratively that makes sense, and he's like, okay, because they're almost at the point in the story and level wise where they went down into Craghammer when the first campaign, when the first series started.
Yes.
Because they were level 8 then. And Matt started introducing the world-changing stuff that was coming down the pike at that point. So he started that much earlier this campaign.
Yeah.
And
well, and I think part of that was because of the player decisions.
Well, and also I think because
I think if they had stayed in the Empire and followed some of that stuff, we wouldn't have seen a lot of the world changing stuff just yet. We would have seen the war, which war is world changing, but you know, not the same scale.
Well, Ford's thing is another aspect of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're right about the Phoenix being what's driving the Drow, then Uk'otoa is just another facet of that.
Right.
Now, we've been expecting a little more, or at least I was, a little more direct information directed at Yasha on her travels through the islands.
Yeah.
And really the only thing that we've gotten was that book.
Yeah.
Which Caduceus is gonna have in his quarters.
Yes.
And I did love Taliesin is now being consistent, playing the low intelligence, where he's like, I'm not such a big reader.
Yeah.
So that was good. Everyone's happy to get off the ship. I think the players want to get in and out of Nicodranus quickly. Do you think they do anything with that wizard tower?
Yes.
Do you think it lasts more than half the episode?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they get there. I think it lasts less than half the episode, but I think it carries over to the following episode. I think they do shit like set up Orly, talk to Jester's mom, deal with any possible...
That's 20 minutes.
Deal with any possible questioning. They're gonna find out about the backlash of the sewer system.
They could. I don't know if they will or not.
Then they're going to stalk the Wizard Tower, spend probably the better part of an hour arguing about a plan. Then they're going to supply themselves for said plan that they agree on, find the way into the Wizard Tower, explore it. He's going to cut it and can finish it in the following episode.
Okay. I can see all of that happening. I'm going to say that they are done with Jester's mom and Orly, and they begin their probe of the Wizard Tower before the break.
Okay, I don't think they start on the Wizard Tower till after the break.
Okay.
I think they deal with other shit the whole before the break. They're gonna get rumors. They're gonna catch up on the news. I mean, I know they got the little bit about Feldwin.
Is the wizard happy or angry that they freed the Mirror? Because I can see it going either way.
Yeah, me too.
Because he could use that, or she could use that to gain more power.
Yeah.
Oh, your little slave thing's not working. Well, I have this arcane ability.
Yeah. It can make you an automaton, then you don't have to worry about enslavement.
Yeah. Or, hey, I can get you elementals.
Yeah.
Or my students can get you elementals. You don't need a myriad. You just have to pay me. Or you just have to do this for me.
Yeah.
Do you think we get any hint as to the dealer of magic items in Port de Mali? Because that's the other tangent, loose end that they've had mentioned twice now. When they took the ship and Jester got her pot and ink, and Twiggy.
Honestly, I don't have any real evidence for it, but I have a gut feeling that it's the gentleman's contact.
I could see that. I mean, Twiggy said he was a bad man.
And then that, and that goes back to that. When are they gonna? When are their shenanigans gonna come in opposition to the?
Yeah.
Father, whatever.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna pursue that at all. I think that's gonna remain a loose end until
they have to go to Port de Mali for something else.
Or he comes looking for them. And they have to save Pumat.
Okay.
Because a magic item dealer in Port de Mali who has designs on expanding, who has dealings with people all the way in Marquette.
Yeah.
This guy in Zadash, maybe he can muscle him out. And if he can connect the piracy of the Mighty Nine to Pumat, then Pumat could lose big.
Yeah. It's going to take some work to do that, though, because Pumat's got the backing of the Service Assembly.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it wouldn't be easy. But the other side of that coin is Pumat's selling to them. And Caleb's a member of them. And he's kind of wanted.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Pumat gave Ford the tools to free Uk'otoa.
Yeah.
If that comes to light.
The other thing I think they look into, I think Caduceus looks into the sword hilt.
Yeah, well, he already did that.
No, because she told him to go to someone in the
Well,
mainland.
I'm saying he looked into it there, but yes, he definitely does.
Yeah. But that's about it.
Yep, we're out of time. We're gonna enjoy Talks Machina.
Travis and Taliesin.
We will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.